Hello everyone, my name is Chris, and I'm coming to you live from my chair in front of my computer, I guess. But what I'm going to be doing for you is playing through a game of Civilization 5. Well, I kind of talk to you about what I'm doing and stuff like that, so that way, hopefully, new players and even old players can get some new ideas on stuff that they can do and stuff like that. So as you can see, I'm going to be spawning as a random civilization. Random map type, random map size. Difficulty level is going to be Prince, which is just the normal, and the game speed is going to be standard. So, yeah, so I'm not really going to know what's going to be going on, but I'll have to get it started to find out. So, here we go. Okay, unfortunately, my recording program doesn't do too well when I'm going through the loading screen, but as you can see, I am spawning as the Romans. And a couple of things to note about the Romans: they get 25% production towards any building that already exists in the capital. So probably want to build buildings in your capital that you want in all of your buildings, in all of your cities, stuff like a barracks. And then they also get special units, the Legion, which replaces the Swordmen. Pretty strong, requires iron. Okay, and then also the Ballista, which replaces the Catapult, which is a long range, well, range 2 siege, so it's good for taking out buildings. So, or keep saying buildings, cities, takes out cities. Okay, let's begin our journey. So here's my first settler. We are surrounded by plains. A lake here, that'll be nice when we get civil service, because all of these tiles will provide extra food. If we take a look at the oh, down here you can click here and it'll let you select what you want to see. So you can click on yield icons and resource icons, which will help tell you where you want to build your cities. This spot, for example, is pretty good. We're going to get a lot of food from this lake and from these grasslands over here. There's some wheat up here that we could probably get. Spices over here and gold down here, so not too bad of a location, so we'll go ahead and build our first city there. And the Romans always spawn with Rome as their main city, you know, who would have guessed. Now we can select our first research project, and it's always good to go for defense, especially since I made everything random. I don't know how many different civilizations there are, so I could be just surrounded by civilizations. So I kind of want to go for a quick higher army tech, because that way I'll be able to defend myself a little easier. Now, once you build your city, it'll ask you what you want to build in that city first. So I usually start out with a scout, that way I can go around really fast and find stuff, find my enemies, and see where I want to plant my next cities and stuff like that. And my warrior can just sit in my base because I don't want to die really fast, right? So, fortify. Although I believe in Civ 5 the cities are a lot stronger because they actually act as defense. So you don't actually need any units inside inside of your city to defend it. It can actually defend itself. But not a bad idea to stick a unit in there as well. That way it can help repel invaders, so they don't just like pillage all this stuff around you. And yeah, so
Excuse me.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and end our turn and we'll see how we do. Okay, so we're ending the turn and we're gonna see unfortunately in the first parts of the game there isn't too much to be done, so we're probably just gonna speed right through these first 8 or 9 turns, and we'll have to decide what to do from there. It looks like Civ 5 does have a lot of elements from Civ 4. Culture, definitely a big influence, it looks like. The border of your civilization is determined by your culture, but if we take a look at our city screen and we do buy a tile, we can actually purchase tiles around our city, which will expand our borders and expand our culture in that area. Although it doesn't help our overall culture, It just improves our borders. So that way, if someone builds close to you, like a city, an enemy builds a city here, you can buy the tiles here, and it won't use those. It won't be able to get them from you until it has an overwhelming culture. So 3 turns before my scout is done, and I'll be able to send them out. Yeah. So as far as what all these little icons mean, the little apples are food, the little hammers are production, and the little coins are gold. So all that stuff can help your civilization grow, because if you have more food, you can support more population. The more population you have, the more stuff you can build, and the more tiles you can work, and yeah, it just slowly builds it up. And if you're familiar with any thing in the past, like any of the previous civilization games, you'll kind of have an understanding of what food production and gold all do for your civilization's well-being. Now, I finished building my scout, so I'm going to I'll build a warrior next. I'll build a warrior because if there's any barbarians around here, I want to be able to secure my border. And also be able to take out any encampments that are nearby, so that way they're not spawning units all around me. Yeah, there's a barbarian encampment right there. Now, one thing I do like about Civilization 5 is if you mouse over an enemy unit, it has this little pop-up for how the battle's going to go. So right here it says major defeat, because their strength is 9, my strength is 5.32 after bonuses. So it tells you whether you're going to win the battle or not, basically. And that's going to be a great help later on when you're fighting and you're trying to take over a city or something like that. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick, so yeah, coughing, whatever. Yeah, so it'll also tell you all the different bonuses that you can get. For example, the barbarian is getting terrain modifier plus 25% defense, so he's probably on a hill or something. And he's getting 25% fortification bonus because he's fortified, right? He's fortified in an encampment. So yeah, and I have a bonus barbarian, so I get 1/3 bonus to barbarians, so that's helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and end the turn, and I don't want to engage those barbarians because they're pretty strong, so I'm just going to scout around. So that looks like the ocean. So yeah, I don't want to be on the ocean. I guess I have to wait. Now the ocean is very powerful in civilization, and it always has been, because it always provides a lot of food, and it provides a lot of opportunities for trade, especially in the previous civilization games. A lot of trade routes can be set up around coastal cities, and they become one of your major income producers. So it's always good to have coastal cities. Now, ruins, just like in the previous Civ games, it looks like as you move over them with your units, it gives you a bonus, some kind of bonus, or maybe it'll spawn barbarians like it does in Civilization 2. But you never know. Always good to eat over.
The arrow had been feathered with one of the eagle's own plumes. We often give our enemies the means of our own destruction.
Alright, one thing I do like about like Civilization 4 and now this one, it has those little, like this one's an Aesop fable on one of the technologies, so I don't know, I like that. Just something I like. I mean, I like them like the first time, but then after that you get kind of bored of hearing it. So I guess I have to choose my next research. Pottery lets me build a granary, and a granary increases the food intake of a city, speeding up the city's growth. It's useful when you want to create a large city fast. So that could be helpful if I want to build up my population. If there's a lot of tiles around this city that has a lot of output, then I want to get those worked as soon as possible, so that could be very helpful. Um, I don't seem to have a lot of forests, so mining I could probably put off a little bit, especially since I don't have the workers. However, as soon as my city expands, maybe they'll get this gold, and I want to put a mine on there as soon as possible. So I mean, animal husbandry, it doesn't look like I have anything around me that will be useful, so I'm going to go for mining, because gold seems like the closest thing. Another thing is this bar here tells you things that you need to do, so a unit needs orders, or um, technology needs to be researched, city needs to be uh, told what to do, stuff like that. So I'm going to jump on these ruins and see what I get. Uh, I found the lost. You find survivors of the last ruins. In gratitude, they settle in one of your cities, increasing its population. Well, that's nice. So Rome's population went up one. Unfortunately, now its growth is stagnant for some reason. See allocation. Yeah, I guess right now I'm stuck on all of my tiles giving me only one. So, except for the lake. So I'm going to have to wait for it to expand before I can get it to grow too much, culture-wise expand. Okay. One thing that I always like to do with whatever civilization game I was playing was scout around the coast first, and then fill in my information later. I did step right into another barbarian encampment, so I'll have to step around that to get to the ruins, but whatever. Hopefully they don't jump out and attack me. Um, that's interesting. Their terrain modifier is minus 33% for defending, so it looks like... Are they on plains? Yeah, they're on plains, so plains actually give you a negative defensive bonus, so that's something to keep in mind for later on. So I'm just... Yeah, I don't want to run into those guys, so I'm going to have to go around. Okay, so we'll just click next. And maybe I can use my warrior that just got created to fight off these barbarian people.